Hey, welcome to this training this morning. We are talking about the fact that your product is boring and what you can do about it. I would just like to start this morning and mention that my name is Jessica Hansen. I'm not going to go into a full bio right now because I want to do that at the end because I just want to jump right in and make sure that this is worth your time to stick around. So, I want to start with this morning. Whoops, my clicker isn't working. This is probably normal. I don't know why. Well, how about that? We are human, right? And there we go. So, who is this training for? I wanted to share this with you. This training is for the frustrated entrepreneur who's tired of being rejected all the time. It is for any salespeople who are working in saturated markets. And it's for creative content developers who want a competitive edge. This is anybody who creates online content such as blogs or courses or coaching programs. And it's also for you because you were inspired to be here today. And I'm very glad that you've joined me today because this is going to be very valuable. Let's go next to why your customers are not buying from you. And maybe some of them are, but why are not every person that you're coming in contact with, why are they not buying? So if your product definition is not clear, they're not going to buy from you, because I've heard the phrase said, and I'm not sure where it came from, but a confused mind doesn't buy. So if you're not completely clear on what it is that your product is doing and who it is for, then they're not going to buy it. If you are trying to sell a product and your results are not clear, if you're not communicating what it is exactly that your product is doing, or you're trying to sell a product that does too many things at once, people are not going to buy from you. You need to make sure that you are always selling one result. People are not going to buy if their needs are not met. This is really big and really important for you to go in and fully define what is your customer avatar. And this isn't just about who are you selling to, but it's really going into making sure that you are fully defining what it is your customers are looking for. And that's also going to apply to number 4. If their wants are not met, what is it that they want out of your product? Are you pre-qualifying your leads? Are you talking to the right people? This is all going to make a difference in whether or not you are selling. And most importantly, any product that is not exciting is not going to sell. This is what we're going to focus the most on today, because this is so important to make sure that your product is going to stand out. So here is the process to creating a standout product. And if you are following along on the worksheet that you downloaded, this is where we're going to start filling it out. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure that your product and service, whichever one you're selling, is clear. So you need to make sure that your definition is clear, exactly what it is that you are selling and what it is that your product or service is doing. You need to get clear on your messaging. Is your marketing plan sending the right message? So this is all going to be really important to you because, again, a confused mind does not buy. So get clear on what it is you're selling. You need to focus on what the customer is expecting, and also what would be considered a failure when you are working with that customer or selling to that customer. What would fail to meet their expectations? This is really important because this is something a lot of people don't even look at. And then after that, you need to go into really looking at what you can do to exceed their expectations. So what is it that you can do to really exceed that expectation. So let's look at this process just a little bit differently here. So this is the same process. And this is the graphic that I want you to really focus on. If you have one takeaway, this is your takeaway right here. So what you need to do to have your product well defined, you need to be looking at, where do you find your product? Are they going to find it in a store? Can they only buy it online? Can they buy it from any website online? Or can they find it in any store, and is it widespread? You need to also make sure that you're looking at, how much is it selling for? Who is it for? What selectable options do you have for your product, such as color or style, or a whole different bunch of things. Whatever you are selling is going to make the difference there. The quality of it, your convenience factor. Is this a product they're going to use one time and then throw away? How is the product delivered to them? And this is important because if it's shipped to them, how are you packaging it? And then you also need to make sure that you have a well-defined competitive advantage for your product. What is it that's going to make it so that yours is better than the competition? And this isn't talking about standing out. This is just specifically, why is your product better than your competition's? The next thing you're going to look at is the results. And so again, you're focusing on, what one problem are you going to solve with this product? So one of the key things that people miss in this step is they forget to think about how their customer avatar is going to feel. So really digging into the emotions surrounding your product, making sure you understand, what is your client feeling before your product, and what are they going to feel after they use or come in contact with or buy your product. And this is a really key thing, because emotions absolutely create better memory and customer loyalty. And then the next thing you're going to look at is, what is that customer expecting? What do they expect your product to do? Is your message consistent? What exactly is it that they can do with your product? So you need to define for yourself what the average experience is. And if you have a brand new product, this is going to be a little bit more difficult, because you have to make this up. You have to make up your own expectation. But most products exist in a market where you can find something that's similar enough to understand what it is that your consumers are looking for. So market research is going to be really important here. You want to make sure that you are looking at what it is your competition is doing and how are they serving their customers. You need to look at, this is one of the things, packaging is really going to come into play here, because if you have a product and you're shipping it from a website and they get the product in the mail and it's not packaged correctly, if it's broken, they're not going to have their needs met. So you need to look at how it is you are going to be packaging your product. It's also probably going to disappoint them if they can't open the box. How many times do you buy something from the store and you have to get a knife out, or scissors, or your gigantic tree clipper, because you cannot get that plastic box open? It's really frustrating. And what you want to make sure you're doing is staying away from those negative emotions. So any little thing that you can do to make sure that they don't have these negative emotions associated with your product. Yes, it could be considered a project, but your product, you want to have only positive emotions coming with it. So if you are also looking at what they're expecting, going along with that, what is failing to meet those expectations? So like we talked about, the packaging, when they receive your package, they expect to be able to open it. If you're selling a digital product, they expect to click a link and have it download, or open a course on a teachable website and the content is there. It doesn't fail. It doesn't have a lot of mistakes in it. They're expecting that there's some quality with it. So when you're looking at what is a failure to meet that, there's all kinds of little things you can look at that will really help your product not to fail when you're looking at what they're expecting. And so the last piece that we really want to talk about is standing out with your product. Once you've defined what it is that they can expect to receive and how that could not be met, and listed your failures and expectations side by side, I always say write it down. So get a piece of paper and kind of like a pros and cons list, write down the expectation and the failure, and then make a third column that says, how can I exceed that experience? Making it multisensory. If you have a physical product and you can incorporate a positive color, a positive scent, a positive flavor, I don't know, maybe you're selling candy. So think about that. How can I make this into a multi-sensory experience? In the digital marketplace, it's a little bit more difficult because you want to make sure you tap into these things, but it is physically impossible to include a taste. So you need to make sure you're including some sound and some visual, maybe different ways of visual. So for example, in this presentation, first I listed out the steps, and then the second thing I did was provide this graphic representation because people learn differently. So this is a way that I can tap into the multi-sensory, multi-learning style type product. By tapping into that, people are going to remember you, and they're going to know that your product is going to meet their expectations, and they're going to become loyal to you. So if you can do any little thing that's unexpected, for example, sending a thank you card. A lot of people don't do that when somebody purchases from them. But if I'm not talking an email, I mean like a physical postal mail card. If you can send that to your customer and it's completely unexpected, they're going to remember that you sent that. They're going to appreciate that. They're going to make it feel like you have connected with them and that they just really matter to you. It's really important. If you can get under their skin, and I mean this in a good way, not in a bad way, you really want to get under their skin so that they can't forget about you. You have to make it such a great experience that they cannot forget. And then when you have a new product, they're going to come back because they want that experience again. It's going to be amazing for them. They're going to see you somewhere and they're going to go, hey, I know her. I bought from her. And they're going to feel that connection. And then you know that you've succeeded. You need to make sure they can no longer, and it's got to be so good. It has to be so life-changing for them. Make it matter. And if your mission statement is not surrounding making life better, I want to think about that. Make sure that your product is consistent with all of your personal mission and because when your product matches, you do create a change and you will stand out and they will remember you. So that is how you really stand out in your marketplace. And now I just wanted to take just a couple of minutes and tell you who I am. I am a business and success coach. You'll find me at Jessica Hansen. I've been having my own business for 20 plus years. I'm a mother of 4 + 2 + 20. That is children, dogs, and chickens. I'm an overzealous volunteer. I volunteer with at least 4 organizations. I'm a digital nomad. I like to work from home, but I often work remotely from Wi-Fi at the library or at the school when I'm waiting on my children, all kinds of things. If you've seen my live videos, I'm usually in the car. I'm everywhere. I am a certified master gardener and I am an expert time manager because I simply have way too many things going on, and if I'm not good at that, I will drop balls. So questions, go ahead and drop them into the chat box. I'll take a few minutes and answer those. If you think of something later that we didn't discuss, feel free to email me. It's on the screen. And I would love for you to join us in our community. We have daily inspiration and an awesome group of women entrepreneurs. They're always sparkling and making a difference in each other's lives. You can find us at www.yoursparklinglife.com and join there. So I am really glad that you decided to join us today. I don't see any chat questions popping up, so that means that I did my job and you have no questions. So please make sure that you download the worksheet. And I wanted to, before we finish, give you just a little secret bonus. And the bonus code to my Brilliant Business Kit is the word, all capital letters, boring, B-O-R-I-N-G, because we no longer want our products to be boring. And if you need any help with defining your business and your products and your customer avatar, this is the kit for you. It's all going to be covered in there. And when you purchase that course, you're going to get a free hour of my time as well. That's a $500 value for that hour. So I would love to have you make my tools work for you. And again, that code is boring, B-O-R-I-N-G, in all caps. You can find it at learn.thejessicahansen.com. And the link is in the worksheet. And if you are wondering where I got my inspiration for this particular training, the book was from, or the material started from a little excerpt of Platform, Get Noticed in a Noisy World. And that link is also included in the worksheet for you so that you can take advantage of this great book. Thank you so much for your time today. And I'm really glad that you joined me. And I hope that you have an excellent day.